Secular Sakai is saying, in your experiences, what are the best ways to handle trolls who attempt to take over video streams? Use their posts to make a point or ignore them?
If it
Um,
serves you, then do it. Otherwise, don't. I mean, there's some
yep.
trolls. If a troll is bigger than you, if someone is trolling you, he's got a bigger following than you, then go after him. But not, then probably not the best idea. And this is something all of us have struggled. Like, I mean, I don't know about Armin. Armin's got a more leveled head above his shoulder, but I sometimes do engage trolls, and let me tell you, every time I have engaged them, I have regretted it afterwards. So I think it is probably best if you just ignore them. It is difficult some point. I do ignore a lot of trolls too. I do. But sometimes, like if some troll gets under my skin, then I say, you know what, fuck you. I'm gonna fuck you up. And then I end up fucking myself up because it's like I ended up giving attention to someone who didn't deserve my attention.
Right. So I think like there's multiple things you have to take into account, and one of them is your co-host, right? So sometimes I have a troll in the live chat, and I usually love trolls, right? Because they are, as long as it's about a topic that I want to highlight. Like for example, let's say there's a hater in the live chat, and they're talking about something that is not something that is part of the topic that I want to highlight, right? So usually if it's irrelevant, I would have to block them or time them out or something like that, right? But if I see their trolling behavior is actually highlighting about something that we're talking about, I'm like, oh, this is fantastic, because it brings up a lot of back and forth between me and that person and increases the tension, and people love to see that tension, and it's also somewhat about the topic, so it's an entertaining way of talking about the topic, right? But sometimes I notice that even though I enjoy that, going like you saw what we did with the V57, I really enjoy that, right? But sometimes you have to also take into account your co-host. If it's bothering your co-host, then you have to also be mindful. If it's not bothering you, but it's bothering your co-host, I think you have to also be mindful of your co-host, right? So sometimes, even though I want to, like, for example, the fastest way you could get blocked on my channel is if you go after Susanna. Okay?
Ooh.
If you want to get blocked, that's how you do it, right? So if you insult her in any way, it's an immediate block, because I don't want her to have to deal with anything like that, right? So that's how I block you. That's
Why do you feel like that about me?
Well,
am I not a worthy equal co-host?
Well, I mean, because I think you have more experience dealing with trolls.
That Susanna's pretty.
No, Susanna's been streaming for how long?
Oh, a couple of years now. A year at least.
Get my best-selling book, Why There Is No God, for free. Click on the link for it in the description.